Hello people at Servant Time, welcome back to another video. Since I start school on Tuesday of next week, I'm definitely trying to get in, some more videos since I'll be going back to my normal of trying to upload just every Sunday. But, yeah, so today I'm going to be reviewing classical books. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of scholars who are going to be, judging my reviews. It's just an honest review. I mean, I get that these are really good books, objectively. This is just what I thought of them, and I know that this doesn't make me right. Obviously, that doesn't make these bad books. Some of them I may not have liked. Obviously, these are, good books that you should definitely read. Now, I probably should have meant to do this earlier in the summer, but I read these books all in the 9th grade. So, one of them I have read before. So, I'm going to start in chronological order of how I remember we read these in the seminar. So the first one is The Magician's Nephew in the Chronicles of Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. Now, I love this book. I mean, I'm sure you've all heard of the Chronicles of Narnia. I've actually read this before school. Probably, even more than once. Probably read this, 3 times. It is really good. Story. Yeah, it's just amazing. And I am a storybook person, which you'll see. Yeah, I like stories. So I would rate this, a 9.5 out of 10. It's supreme literature. Really good children's literature. And then we have, this. Now, I know you're gonna not like what I think. The Iliad. I don't know if it's Iliad. This book was really hard to understand. I didn't realize, who was on the Trojans and who was on the Achaean side. I mean, it is a good book. I just didn't really like it a humongous amount. I know that this is classic literature. Dad, if you see this, I know you're not going to be happy. I would give it a 6 out of 10. I'm being very merciful because these are classical books. And even though we didn't read this right afterwards, to go in the chronological order, the Odyssey. This book I liked better than the Iliad. Sometimes it could be iffy, but I would give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't that bad. It had a pretty good story and a cool reunion. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. This is not a spoiler video. Then next up, now this isn't exactly a storybook, but this is 5 dialogues by Plato, the Euthyphro. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Iliad and Odyssey are by Homer, as you may know. I guess I should credit the authors. So this is Euthyphro, Apology, Credo, Meno, and Phaedo. I thought this was really good. It was very hard to understand sometimes. But it's a really good book, a lot of good morals. I would definitely recommend reading it, but not until you're much older. If you're a young kid watching this, I don't think you should read this because you're not going to understand it. Probably, no offense. It's a very advanced reading level. And then next up, we have this book. Now, this book, I know it's classic. It's funny, Beowulf, we actually don't know who wrote it. Seamus Heaney is just a translator. This book was kind of hard to understand, and I honestly didn't really like it that much. I would give it a 6.8 out of 10. But the last one, by the way, I would give that a 9 out of 10 just because it was very important philosophically. Oh yeah, and by the way, those were Socrates dialogues, though they were written down by Plato. And then next up we have this book, Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Shocking, I couldn't come up with that off the top of my head. I know it, but I don't. So, this book I think it was pretty good. It was just maybe not my cup of tea, fairly easy to understand. I mean, for me, again, if you're any younger than the 9th or the 8th grade watching this, it might be a little bit confusing. But I liked this book, sort of. I don't know. I feel like it's bad. I have this thing with books. I'm very particular about books that I like and don't like. But I would give this 7.3 out of 10. Let's see. There's one more here. I kind of just dumped all my school books on the table, so that's why I keep grabbing random books. And then we have, this isn't a storybook. I actually didn't read all of this, but we have Common Sense 101 by G.K. Chesterton. No, okay, it has lessons from G.K. Chesterton. It's by Dale Alquist. There we go. It's funny, I have a complicated last name, and I have trouble with others' complicated last names, so I always feel bad, since people always get my name wrong, and then I get others' names wrong. looking at my annotations. So I liked this. I mean, sometimes it could be confusing, but it had really good, like, life morals and stuff. You know, it was just realizing that my drawer is a little bit crammed because I have a lot of pants and I have a hard time fitting them into my drawer, so that's why. But, this book, like, yeah, it had some good, like, moral lessons, because G.K. Chesterton is pretty smart. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. I would give that book, like, an 8 out of 10. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, what do you mean by particular about books, since I'm probably not giving all these books the respect they deserve, and honestly, I'm rating them more. I would have honestly given the Iliad, like, a 4 out of 10. I'm not a huge fan of that book, and Odyssey probably would have been more like a 5 or 6, maybe. I'm just giving them mercy because they are classic books, and I know they're, like, objectively good. See, and what I mean by particular with books is I mean, I can get really into books, but I'm telling you right now, there's only, like, a few select books I've ever gotten really into. And those books are the Series of Unfortunate Events series. I read almost all the books. And I really liked the one book, Percy Jackson. I read one of the books in the series. That was really good. And I really liked, the Chronicles of Narnia. I think I read the first 2 books. I started the 3rd. But those are the only books that I've ever gotten really, really into. And there's a couple books I've gotten here and there, but in terms of actually finishing a book, yeah, it's bad. But, you know, I've gotten into books also before that are not those books. It's just kind of like, I'm very particular about stories, so that's kind of why. Anyways, you know, but I hope that you found this video, like, interesting. Obviously, I'm not saying don't read these books. You definitely should. But, this is just my advice, my opinion. So take it with a pinch of salt. And I hope that you found this video informative. And I hope that you have a great week and a great weekend. And, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want. Bye.